welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. For today's video, I'm going to be setting up my February budget. I am here in my hybrid budget worksheet. It's actually a 2-page printable that is available on my Etsy shop. This is what I use to write out my budget. I call it the hybrid budget because I'm budgeting both monthly and weekly, which is kind of unique. It's something I did in January. Really enjoyed it. I was able to stick to my budget pretty darn well in January, if I do say so myself. And I think that it's all thanks to this hybrid budget. So if you're interested in this printable, I will have it linked down below. This is my design for February. I love the soft pinks and the florals. Super, super pretty. So we're going to be setting up this today. We're also going to be writing my bills in here into my calendar so that I can easily reference and see when things are due. And I think I'm actually going to start there. So I'm going to really quickly just write in all of my bills. I'm just going to write them in with a pen right on the paper, and I'm going to use a little highlighter just to indicate that they are bills. I always put my bills in blue, so I'll find my blue highlighter and just use that to accent. I'll also put in my paydays. I'm probably just going to do that really quickly, maybe speed it up, add some music, and then we'll come back and fill in the hybrid budget worksheet together. Okay, so somewhere in the middle of getting my calendar set up, my camera battery died, and then my son called, and then somebody came home, and it's just been chaos. So it's been about an hour since I last checked in with you guys, but a lot has happened. I got my calendar all set up. I put in all of my bills for the month. I put in Valentine's Day. I don't usually put holidays and stuff on my calendar, but I figure if it's going to affect my budget, and it might, it should go in here. So I went ahead and put Valentine's Day in here. I put in mine and my husband's paydays. So this is all looking good. It is set up for February. I can reference this really easily to find out when things are due now, and that's super helpful. I'll also be putting in my no spends on this calendar. I'm waiting on some no spend stickers that I'm really excited about. So for now, this is all set. I'm just going to go ahead and turn the page. I have my monthly overview and my monthly budget. We're not doing anything with those today. I've already set up my sinking funds. I think this video is actually going to go up after the one that you're watching right now, but I filmed them kind of out of order, so there's that. Here is my monthly hybrid budget. This is where we're going to get set up. So I'm not going to write in any income. You guys know by now, I think, I don't disclose my husband's income. He's really adamant that I not do that. But just so you're aware, the money that's coming in this week comes from my husband's full-time job, my side hustle, also any kind of miscellaneous money when my son contributes his money to the budget. If you're not familiar, my oldest son is 19 now, but he's still living at home, so he contributes a little bit each month, not a ton. We really want him to be focusing on saving, so we don't charge him a ton of money, but that'll go here under miscellaneous, as well as anything else that comes in unexpectedly. And then we have money that we rolled over from last month. I'm not gonna write in the amounts or the total or anything, but that's the money we're working with for the month. I'm just gonna go ahead and get our monthly items listed here. This is going to be our overall monthly budget, and then we'll go ahead and break down week 1 as well. So starting out with our bills, We have our lot rent that's due on the 1st of every month. We live in a mobile home that we own free and clear. We paid off our mortgage back in spring of 2020, but we don't own the lot. We are in a mobile home community, so we pay to rent the lot that our home sits on, and the amount that I'm budgeting for that is $533. We also have some other bills that we pay along with our lot rent. So we have our monthly water bill, and I'm going to go ahead and budget $50 for that. I always budget $50 for our water bill. Sometimes it comes in less, sometimes it comes in a little more, but usually it's under $50. So that's what I budget. We also have cable, which we pay through our mobile home community. They have set up like a community deal. We get high-speed internet and cable TV for around $70 a month. Next, we have HBO Max. This is one of the many streaming services that we use, and for that, I budget $16 a month. Some of our streaming services I pay by the month, others I pay annually. The ones I pay monthly go in under our monthly budget. The ones that I pay annually actually go into our sinking fund. I pull our subscription sinking fund money and pay those just once a year. Okay, next up I have Boost Mobile. This is our mobile phones. We have 4 lines of unlimited talk, text, and data, and $120 a month is what we pay. I've been budgeting $130 every month. At some point, we got some kind of promotion or credit or something that's been giving us $10 a month off, so it's been $120 for the last 4 or 5 months, so I'm going with that. Now that I'm actually budgeting $120, it'll probably jump back up to $130 just because that's my luck, but we'll see. For now, I'm going to budget $120. Next up, we have our camper. My husband and I own a camper that we are making payments on. We spend all summer long weekends there. We absolutely love it. And we're budgeting $200 a month for that. Next up, we have my DTE. This is our energy bill, so our electric. We're on a budget plan with both DTE and Michigan Gas, which is our gas company. We pay the same amount every single month. It's just like an average of what we've used over the course of the year. So for DTE, it's $193. And for Michigan Gas, it's $42 or $43. Let me just double check really quickly. $42. So those are exact amounts. That's exactly what will come out. We know that for sure. I really love being on the budget plan for that. Makes it easier to kind of keep track of everything. You know, typically our electric bill would be sky high in the summer and lower in the winter, and our gas bill would be sky high in the winter and lower in the summer. And it's kind of, it fluctuates. It's hard to keep track of, so being on the budget plan makes it really easy. Okay, next up we have my Subaru payment. This is my car payment. Last month, I made a big boo-boo and totally screwed up my budget with the Subaru payment because I made it too early, and the payment that I made didn't cover the minimum payment, so I am not going to make that mistake again. But I am going to budget $400 for that. Next up is Planet Fitness. This is my gym membership. I have just the cheapest $10 a month plan. No bells and whistles. You know, no fancy tanning bed privileges or anything like that. No guests. Just $10. I can go in and work out as often as I want, which for the last 6 months or so has been never, not at all, but I'm hoping to get back to it in February. We shall see. Next up is Audible. This is my husband's audiobook subscription. I budget $25 a month for this. I have my husband's motorcycle insurance, which is full coverage on his motorcycle, and this is around $25 a month as well. Then we have car insurance, which I always budget $180 for. That covers insurance on our Subaru as well as our camper. Let's see. Next up, we have all of our credit card minimum payments. So we have 4 credit cards currently that carry balances. So we have Chase, and I'm going to budget $70 for the minimum payment for Chase. We have my Ashley card, which is our card that we used to pay for our new furniture, and the amount that I pay monthly for that is $156. I have a First Merchants Bank card. This is the card that carries the highest balance, but it also has a pretty low minimum payment. I can't wait to start tackling this card, but we're not anywhere near ready to tackle this card yet. And then we have my Citi card, which is the card I'm currently working on. The minimum payment for that is $35. I'm hoping to make lots of extra debt payments towards Citi. We shall see. All right. Lastly, I think for bills, we have Netflix, which is going up this month. I got the email about that. So it was $13.99 a month, and now it's going up to like $15 and change. So I'm going to budget $16 for that. So that, I believe, is all of our bills. Hopefully I have not missed anything. Now we're going to move on to sort of our variable expenses. So for groceries for the month of February, looking at my calendar, I can see that we typically get groceries around Monday or Tuesday. So there's going to be 4 grocery trips in the month of February. I usually budget about $150 a week for groceries. However, in February, I'm really trying hard to eat a little bit healthier. Healthier food is more expensive. So I'm going to actually budget overall for the month about $750. I have no idea if that's going to be enough. We'll see. Definitely changing my eating habits in February, so there's going to be some changes to the way I do grocery shopping, but hopefully $750 will cover it, and with any luck, we'll come in under that. But that's my budget for the month. Next, I have eating out. So my family and I like to eat out once a week. Actually, we would like to eat out twice a week, but you know, we have to be reasonable with our budget. So we're going to budget $200 for the month of February. That's what I budgeted in January. We were over budget in January. I contemplated raising this eating out budget, but I figure if I'm trying to eat healthier in February, that will probably mean less eating out. So I stuck with $200. We'll see. If I go over it again in February, I might raise it for March, because I need to be realistic about what I will spend and not just budget low and then keep blowing past that budget every month. But for February, we kept it at $200. I do also have a gift card for Red Lobster that we got for Christmas from my husband's parents. So that will be in addition to this $200. So hopefully that'll help us stick to this budget this month. Next up, we have household. So this is for all of our various toilet paper, paper towels, dish soap, that sort of thing. In January, I budgeted $100 and we went a little bit over budget. So for February, I budgeted $150. We'll see how that goes. And then for gasoline, I was significantly under budget in January, but I'm still actually going to budget the same amount that I did in January for February, because gas is a need and not a want, and I can't just decide I'm not going to put gas in my car, you know, if we get close to that budget. So I'm going to continue to budget $200 a month, with gas prices constantly being in fluctuation and whatnot. I definitely always want to have enough money for gas, and I'd rather budget too much than not enough. So we're sticking with $200 for the month of February. For spending, just like in January, I'm going to budget a total of $400. That is $40 a week for my husband, $40 a week for myself, and $20 a week for Austin. So $100 a week, 4 weeks in the month, that's $400. For miscellaneous, I'm going to budget $100. This is just kind of a catch-all category for anything that doesn't fall into one of our other categories. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything here. Okay, I think that's all of our typical monthly things. Let me just double check. Yeah. Okay, so then we're going to put in a line item for unbudgeted, which obviously I'm not going to budget for, but I want a place to write down anything that comes up throughout the month that we didn't think to budget for. And then the other categories are sinking funds, then we have savings, extra debt payments, and rollover. So when it comes to sinking funds come from the previous month's income, so I already know what that's going to be. That's $1,600 that I put into sinking funds at the beginning of February. For the rest of this is all contingent on what happens with these budgeted items. So in a perfect world, we will start with our total income, we'll subtract out all of this, and then we'll divide what's left between savings and extra debt and what we're going to roll over into next month. But, you know, if we end up going drastically over our grocery budget, we will have less to put into savings and extra debt and rollovers. So I'm going to leave these items blank. I don't want to fill in with my projected totals because I want to make sure that, you know, you can't figure out exactly how much we earn, since that's important to my husband to keep that private. But just know that if all goes well, we will have some money to put into savings and extra debt and to roll over. And depending on how we do in these other categories, if we're significantly over budget somewhere, then we'll obviously have less to pay towards debt and savings. So my savings challenges for February are going to be really minimal, mostly focusing on this extra debt. I really want to be able to put a lot towards our city card. So that is our monthly budget. That's everything I anticipate being spent throughout the month of February. Now I'm just going to set up our week one. So for February, it actually breaks down quite nicely. The month starts on a Tuesday and ends on a Monday. There's exactly 4 weeks here, so we're not doing any kind of creative math with a 10-day week like we had to do in January to make up the extra days of the month. So for week one is going to be February 1st through the 7th. I'm just going to write that in here. Week two is going to be February 8th through the 14th. Week three then will be the 15th through the 21st. And week four will be the 22nd through the 28th. No week five in February, so we'll just go ahead and cross that out. So I break things down weekly to help me stay on track for my overall monthly budget. I mentioned this when I did my January budget. If I know that I have $750 at the start of the week or at the start of the month, but I don't think about things in terms of weekly, then I'm liable to spend way more in week 1 and then end up with not enough by week 4. So I'm just going to start out the month. I'm going to take these monthly budgeted amounts and divide them by 4, and that's what I'm going to give myself for week 1. But if I happen to go over budget a little bit in a category in week 1, it's not the end of the world. I just have to make up the difference in the subsequent weeks. And as long as I stay under budget overall for the month, I'll be happy. In January, I did a really good job. There were a couple of categories that I was a little bit over budget in, but I more than made up for that amount being under budget in other categories. And that is what I hope overall to be the case. I don't get too caught up in semantics with like being over budget by $5 here, but under budget $5 here. As long as it all kind of equals out in the end, I'm happy. So for week 1, the categories that I'm going to put in here are just our variable categories. Our bills are what they are. We can't really control those. You know, with like our electric bill, we could try to use less electricity or we could try to use less water, but the main categories we have control over are our variable categories. So those are the ones we're going to track by week. So we have grocery, eating out, household, gasoline, miscellaneous, and then we're going to break out my spending. So we're going to do my husband's spending, my spending, and Austin's spending. And we are actually going to do all of our spending this month in cash. Last month I did my husband's spending and Austin's spending in cash, but I didn't do cash for myself. I just kind of kept track of it. This month, for the sake of ease, we're going to go ahead and just do cash for all 3 of us. So that'll be really easy. So let me figure out then what my weekly budget for grocery is. And again, I'm not too caught up in sticking exactly to it. If I'm a little bit over, I'll make up the difference later, but just to kind of keep myself on track, I'm going to take the $750 that I budgeted for the month, divide it by 4, so that's $187.50 a week. In order to stick to this budget, I'm not going to deal with change, so I'm just going to budget $187 for this first week. And if I spend a little more or a little less than that, it's fine. That will be reflected in the rest of the month. For eating out, we're starting out with $200, so I'm going to budget $50 a week. For household, I gave myself $150. If I divide that by 4, it's $37.50. So again, we'll just do 37. For gasoline, $200 total, divide that by 4, that's $50. For miscellaneous, I budget $100, which means I get $25 a week to stay on track. For my husband, we're going to do $40. For myself, we're going to do $40. And for Austin, we're going to do $20. So if I stay on track with these numbers, then that will set me up for the rest of the month to be on track to stick to my monthly budget. And as I've said before, the weekly budget doesn't matter really. If I spent $700 in the first week, but then I didn't spend anything the rest of the month, I still would come in overall under budget for groceries, and I'd be okay with that. This just kind of helps me to stay on track. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go ahead and add up our total here. So for variable spending, we've got $449, which is an odd number, but that's because I dropped the 50 cents on a couple of those categories. So, you know, if for our variable spending, we stay at around $450 each week, we'll be on track to stick to our monthly budget. So that is a look at that. The only other thing I'm going to do then is just set aside the cash for my husband, myself, and Austin. So my husband's going to get $40. I'm going to set that off to the side for him. I'm going to get $40. So I'm going to just stick this in my wallet. Not doing a ton of cash spending anymore. I used to stuff cash envelopes every week, and I would do cash for groceries and eating out and everything. I just find it a lot easier to put everything on my credit card and keep track of it that way. But as I said, just for the sake of ease with the spending, I'm going to go ahead and do spending in cash. So this 40 will go into my wallet, and then I've got 20 for Austin for his allowance. So I will give that to him. So that's it. We are all kind of set up for February now. I will be coming back for savings challenges. I haven't really decided what I want to do for savings challenges for February, which is why I'm not including it here. But I will definitely let you guys know what I end up doing for savings challenges, and I'll update you guys with that. And then sinking funds, I've already kind of figured out. I just need to go ahead and write those in off camera, which I will do in my own time. Debt payments will, of course, happen at the end of the month. So that's it then. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I post new budgeting and lifestyle content here on my channel every single week. I'd love to have you come back, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!